Hey guys, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide for Snowcloak, a new dungeon in patch 2.4. To access this dungeon, you must first gain access through the main scenario quest, The Path of the Righteous, and have a minimum item level of 80 to enter. In this guide, we will look at the different kinds of trash and bosses in this dungeon, and how to deal with each. There are a total of 3 bosses in this dungeon. If you'd like to skip to a specific boss, please click on the boss you'd like to skip to now, or use the index in the top left corner of the video at any point. For the first part of the dungeon, you'll run across a slew of trash that ranges from wolves to goobos, bombs, and polar bears. Just dispatch them however your party sees fit. At some point in the dungeon, icicles will begin falling from the ceiling and perform AoE attacks near them. Simply dodge out of the way as you progress through the trash to reach the first boss, Wandel. Wandel is a fairly straightforward fight. The main mechanic of this fight is Frozen. This is a stacking debuff that is applied by being hit by some of Wandel's abilities. If it ever reaches 4 stacks, the player will be affected by Deep Freeze, preventing them from acting or moving for 10 seconds and taking some damage over time. When unfrozen, the player's stacks reset to 0. Wandel himself has several abilities. He has a basic cone attack that will hit everyone in front of him, so the tank should face him away. He also has an attack called Snowdrift, which after he casts it will wait a short delay before dealing damage to the entire party. Snowdrift can also give random party members stacks of Frozen. I have done this dungeon a lot of times trying to figure out how to prevent these stacks and have still yet to find success. So please, if you know for sure how to avoid them, post it in the comments below. It's maddening not knowing. His other attack is Cold Wave, which shoots an AoE at a random party member that deals some damage and adds a stack of Frozen. Move out of it when it spawns. As his HP drops, Wandel will target more and more players with this attack. Wandel also occasionally summons a Frost Bomb. This bomb just runs around attacking, but if it's not killed quickly, it will explode, dealing damage to the entire party and giving them a stack of Frozen, so kill them as soon as they spawn. At lower HP, Wandel will summon 2 of these at a time. At about 45% HP, Wandel will cast Tundra, freezing the outside of the arena. Staying on the ice for too long will give you stacks of Frozen, so avoid stepping on it. Just avoid all of Wandel's AoEs, kill the bombs, and deal with people being Deep Freeze to get past this. I will add any information I discover about Snowdrift to the annotations of the video. The next part of the dungeon consists of several goobos, ice elementals, and ogres. While progressing through this part of the dungeon, a snowball may occasionally crash down near you and summon a goobo, which you just have to kill as normal. Several sections of the dungeon will also have gusts of wind blowing across them. These gusts occasionally become much stronger and inflict a strong damage over time on anyone inside of them while they are blowing. Do your best to avoid standing in these, and then just get past all of the trash here and onto the second boss, the Yeti. The Yeti may be the longest of all the new hard mode dungeon fights if your team is ill prepared for him. The Yeti himself has 2 conal AoEs. One is very short, only targeting anyone in front of him in melee range. The other is a long cone where the Yeti will do a breath attack. This breath attack is vital to defeating him. Throughout the fight, many Spriggans will spawn. They just cast Blizzard on whoever has aggro on them for about 200 damage. Don't kill these Spriggans. What you want to do instead is have them be hit by the Yeti's breath attack. This will turn them into snowballs. If the Yeti breathes on them multiple times, he can make the snowballs bigger and bigger. Hitting a snowball causes it to dash across the room and crash into the boss, or the wall if your aim is bad. You'll want to use these snowballs to interrupt the Yeti's strongest move, Northerlies. When he begins casting this room-wide AoE, hit a snowball at him to not only interrupt it, but deal huge damage to him as well. 5 or 6 fully grown snowballs should be enough to kill him on top of any damage your party has done to him. Keep in mind that if you do not stun Northerlies, it only does about 2,000 damage and inflicts vulnerability up on the entire party. It can be quicker to simply grow snowballs to their max size and launch them at him as fast as possible to help speed up the fight. I do recommend playing it safe and only expending them all when he casts Northerlies though, unless you're sure you can get the kill. While you are orchestrating all of this, an ogre may occasionally spawn. You want to keep this ogre away from the snowballs as best as possible, as his conal AoEs destroy any snowballs that he hits. He can be stunned though, so just kill him as quick as possible and stun him if he's in threat of destroying a snowball. Shoot some snowballs at the boss and you'll be ready to move on to the next part of the dungeon. After the Yeti, you'll come to an ogre and a bunch of glacier sprites. These sprites explode, similar to bombs, so you may just want to dodge their explosion and let them kill themselves. The ogres are standard, so just kill those as you normally would. Soon, you will come to a room where you cannot progress further and be ambushed by several waves of enemies. Despite there being several bombs, Spriggans, an alligator, and a cyclops, just kill them as you would any other trash mob, while dodging any icicles that fall from the ceiling. Eventually, the path ahead will open up. On this path, there are several dragons like the one from Stone Vigil. There are also Harriers that attempt to become dragons like the ones from Stone Vigil, which you should stun and focus down first. Get past a few more trash packs and you'll come to the final boss, Fenrir. Fenrir is probably the most straightforward boss in the new dungeons. Fenrir himself has a conal breath attack as well as a room-wide AoE called 1000 Year Storm that does some damage and blocks your vision slightly. His main mechanic involves the icicles that fall from the ceiling. Whenever these icicles fall, 2 of them will target random party members and 1 will fall randomly around the room. The 2 icicles that targeted party members will quickly attempt to do a line AoE after they land, which hits very hard. It can also be hard to see sometimes since Fenrir likes to do his 1000 Year Storm as the icicles are coming down. The final icicle will remain there for a while, eventually just blowing up in a small AoE like the ones from earlier in the dungeon. Fenrir's most deadly attack is Lunar Cry, which he will do every other set of icicles. It is a room-wide AoE that will inflict everyone it hits with a vulnerability up debuff as well as stunning them. Any player hit will also become the target of Eclipse Bite, which can kill lesser geared healers or DPS in a single hit. In order to avoid Lunar Cry, you just have to hide behind that extra icicle that didn't target your party members that I mentioned before, creating a wall between you and Fenrir. Just do this over and over again until Fenrir dies, and congratulations, you finished Snowcloak. Hopefully this guide was of some use to you. If it was, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share for more Final Fantasy XIV information, news, guides, whatever you want, I got it. But anyway guys, thank you for watching, and until next time, take care.